Welcome to MMA Fancast. My name is Luke Payson, and I'm honored to be joined by first-time guest of the show and soon to be making his amateur MMA debut for 247 Fighting Championships Brawl in the Burgh 16, James Stevenson. James, JT, welcome on the show.
Thank you, Luke. Appreciate it.
It is always fun to have a new guest on the show, especially when you're making your debut. So here we are, April 15th, a little over a month away. What's it like to be getting closer and closer to your amateur MMA debut?
Feels pretty good. Training's been good. Diet's been good. Cardio's been really good. Weight's looking really, really good. I won't have to cut that much weight, so I'm happy about that. Just kind of locking it in, zoning everything in, tweaking everything, just to be the best that I can on April 15th.
Well, that's exactly what makes sense when you're this close to your amateur debut. Let's back it up a little bit and go before you were training any type of martial arts or mixed martial arts, getting into that. What sports or activities, athletics did you do prior to getting into MMA?
Oh, man. So since a kid, I did football, baseball, basketball. I wrestled for a little bit. I even tried track, but that's too many sports to be doing at once. So, like my mom pulled me aside, like, you got to narrow this down to like at least three. So I kind of cut wrestling out because like I was really good at football and baseball. Basketball, it was all right. Like I'm shorter, so like it ain't really my thing. But towards the end of like my high school career, it was mostly football and baseball.
And what was some of your best memories, or what positions did you play in football and baseball? Because I've seen a lot of athletes, because those are fast, explosive type sports with a lot of technique. So kind of what were your positions, and kind of then what led you into training MMA?
So my positions in football were running back and corner.
Okay.
Baseball, I played center field just because of my speed.
I was gonna say true, like the true athlete, cornerback
Right.
is all about being more athletic and having faster reaction speeds than the wide receivers, which is what makes cornerback so hard. And the same thing with center field; you have to cover so much ground. Okay, so you're a speedy guy, real natural athlete. What got you into MMA?
So as I was growing up, I had my grandfather for a lot of coaching, like pee wee football, mostly football, and he used to box. His name around Connors, I used to call him KO. That was his name. So he was a good boxer. I still hear about it till this day. Like, man, your pap would knock people out all the time. Did a little street fighting back then. It wasn't as I guess looked bad upon as it is now. But so I went to high school, went to college for like a semester. I actually went to nursing school. And I came home one day, I talked to my mom. I was like, "Yeah, this ain't for me." So I did a ride along with our local police department, and I ended up transitioning into law enforcement. And like part of the academy is like you got to ground fight, you got to box, do like jujitsu, just the basics. And like did that, and like I just got the itch again, like being a competitor. I was like, I want to compete in something. And then fast forward, I went to the local police academy, then I got to the state police academy, and you know, ground fighting and boxing again. And like no one in the class wanted to box me. So I was like, I kind of can roll with this a little bit. And then like the instructor pulled me to the side. He's like, "Did you wrestle? Did you fight when you were younger?" I said, just typical school fights, like sports fighting, but like never like took it anywhere. And he's like, "You should really try it." So I graduated that. I graduated from the State Police Academy. I got stationed in Chambersburg, and there was like a local. It was more like Krav Maga type stuff, just for work purposes. And I did that for a little bit. It was all right. And then, I when I was out stationed out east, like I jumped in a couple like BJJ classes out there, nothing like consistently. And then I would say with the last 6 months, year, kind of got into a little bit boxing gyms, nothing like serious. And I would say within these last probably like 4 or 5 months, like I got in contact with Jason Monix. He fought, I believe, the last card it was at the Meadows against Ken Burrs, and
Okay.
linked up with him. I was like, man, I really want to fight. It's time. Like I want to do it. And training with him and Jeremy Gray, and got my striking good, just overall like putting it all together, working with them guys, like they're very, very elite, and I don't think they get enough credit, just because we're a small town and there's a lot of big gyms around. But those two guys are very, very knowledgeable, and they've taught me a lot in the last 4 or 5 months about myself, like what I was good at, what I was bad at, like critiquing me, like, hey, you might want to do this, do that. Just very honest, but they explain it at the same time. So that has helped me a lot.
Well, that's the great type of coaching environment you want to be around, where they push you but also explain it, and it's not just trying to beat up the new guy. I would say most MMA gyms are good coaching. It's not just the, hey, let's beat up the new guy. It's a lot more developmental, and obviously you've had a lot of uh, natural skill. It's really cool that going through the state police academy that you got encouragement from the trainers to pursue this. I mean, that's kind of really special. Are you still stationed out of Chambersburg? Are you still from the east side of Pennsylvania? Are you making a long drive in, or are you now more local to where the fight's going to be April 18th, April 15th, Burgh 16th for the Meadows, the Hollywood Casino at the Meadows here in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania?
So actually, it worked out perfect. I'm going to be stationed at home, which will be Uniontown in like a week. So I can really hammer out these last couple weeks before the fight with my boys. Get ready.
So your timing, you're going to be stationed in Uniontown going forward, but that's going to be just in time for the fight. Basically, you're going to come out
Yep.
to Uniontown. Oh, that's your hometown, and it's going to be where you're stationed. How much are you looking forward to kind of being more to where you're from, more of your home area?
I mean, I'm excited for it. People are gonna ask for breaks around here. Like,
Oh,
oh, I know, so I know him. But I was stationed out east for, if you count the academy time, probably 2.5 years.
hmm.
Like I like being close to my family. I've lost my grandparents in January. That kind of sucked because I just felt like I wasn't around enough. You know, my mom kind of has she has health issues here and there, so I like being close when stuff happens. I just had a nephew too, so spend time with him. You know,
Well,
that's good.
congratulations on the new nephew to the family. That's great. And also, not only congratulations about your upcoming MMA fight, because I know you want to pursue that and you want to see how good you are in it, but also congratulations on the transfer. And thank you for being a state trooper and working to keep people safe and enforcing the law. I think that's a great opportunity. How has it been among your fellow troopers of word spreading that you're getting into MMA? How has that been received?
They bust on me when I get to work, like, oh, MMA fighters here, watch out. But you might want to take him to the next call with you. He knows what he's doing. But other than that, like, very supportive. A couple of them are coming to the fight. So when I told them I was fighting, they were all hyped about it. So they'll be there.
Well, now that we've kind of gotten up to the point of talking about your fight again, getting some background on you, that's really cool to kind of see how you transition through everything. What are you looking forward to the most for April 15th? The venue, have you been to one of the 247 cards? It looks like you've watched some of your co-trainers. Like, have you been to any of the events? How much do you sort of anticipate knowing what it's going to be like environment wise?
I never been to the venue. Actually, the last one I was going to go to, I know a couple guys that fought, but I had to work, so I streamed it. The environment seems like, kind of reminds me of sports, like spotlights on you, but I always get those jitters. But once I get in there, like, just take a deep breath and just do what I got to do. I'm just focusing on that, being the best I can, mixing it up, striking, grappling, kicking, just making sure it's consistent. I'm not in just one spot, just staying active, staying active.
Well, that's definitely a great mindset to have coming in to any MMA fight, particularly your debut, because you can't really predict what your opponent's going to do or kind of where the fight's going to go, which is why it's such a dynamic sport. Who's going to be there for your first fight? You said you're close to your family. It's obviously sad that your grandparents have passed. Do you have family coming in for it? Who are you kind of most excited to have in the crowd as part of your fans for your first ever fight?
Definitely my mom. She's been there with me through it all, man. Good, bad. When I mess up, you know, I think I owe it to her. She's been through a lot battling cancer, so definitely my mom.
Well, that is very it's a very family oriented response. We'll be thinking about and praying for your mom with her battle for cancer. I'm glad she'll be able to be there in person to root you on. This has been fun having you on, getting some background, getting some understanding of who you are when you get in there to fight for the first time for 247 and for the first time in your MMA career. I'd love to have you back on after your fight so we can kind of talk about how it went and what's next for you. You kind of never know until you get in there. So thanks so much for coming on the show. It's just been incredible to catch up with you. James Stevenson has been talking to Luke Mason from MMA Fincast with your upcoming amateur MMA debut. Thanks so much for coming on.
All right. Thank you, Luke. Appreciate it.
Got it. Best skills to you.
Thank you.